Welcome everyone. Today we have our another new episode, and we have our world famous speaker, Mr. Fred Gangstead, and we do discuss on his innovation, his research, and all other things. My first questions to Mr. Fred: what is the name of the theory that explain the rapid expansion of universe immediately after the Big Bang?
Name of it. Well, the problem is that's what I'm refuting. That the universe isn't expanding at all. The redshift
Mhm.
is caused by a interstellar medium surrounding each galaxy. It's like looking through a gas cloud at the light.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. So, like, can you please explain your project, your research project with our audience?
The easiest way is for me to just give you a rundown. I'm going to flip the camera around and show you what I'm dealing with.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. So, my next questions. Oh, interesting. Very interesting.
Here you go. This is a picture of cosmic background microwave radiation. What I'm trying to tell you is this is not an afterglow of the Big Bang. It's actually areas of electromagnetic bubbles inside a cold and hot. So the galaxies are surrounded by electromagnetic bubbles separating them from areas of antimatter, and it holds them through what I call a galaxy cycle.
Hmm.
Each galaxy has a mother rock. As here's a galaxy with a lot. These are all planets. This isn't dust. These are planets. As this galaxy starts to shrink down, it forms what I call a mother rock. My camera's backwards. Is this looking right to you?
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I like these things. So, my next question: what is the term for mysterious form of energy believed to be driving the accelerating expansion of universe? How you want to explain your work, your mysterious form of energy? I think that our speakers, we are waiting for him, and there are a few other questions actually come to this theory. What is the term for mysterious form of energy? And also, we have questions like roughly what percentage of the universe is made up for uh, ordinary people and so on.
All right.
Some specific questions like what is the terms of the mysterious form of energy believed to be driving the accelerating expansions. Roughly what percentage of universe is made of ordinary matter, the stuff that forms star, planet, and people? Also, there are some questions like which element was formed first in the early universe, short often in the Big Bang. Also, what is the closest large galaxy of the Milky Way predict to be Polaid, and so on. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, can we,
I'm, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Just focus on the questions. We already see
Yeah.
your work, what you are doing. What is the term of mysterious form of energy believed to be drive the accelerating expansion of the universe? How you want to explain?
Well, I don't believe the universe is expanding. That's one of
Okay,
the things I'm proving wrong. It's not expanding at all. It's a static state universe where the galaxies go through a cycle.
okay, okay. So my next question: what roughly what percentage of the universe is made up of ordinary matter, the stuff that forms stars, planet, and the people?
Baryonic matter is all enclosed. We're talking about mass is only constructed inside of an electromagnetic field. So when you look at space, you see the galaxies are separated by huge areas. The galaxy itself is surrounded by an electromagnetic bubble, which allows the formation of mass, stars, plasma, everything else in life. Outside of the galaxies is antimatter, which is used by the galaxies to form stars and plasma in a continuous recycling process in and out.
My next question for you, like, what is the name of the radiation left over from the early universe that provide snapshot of what it looked like 380 years after the Big Bang?
They called it cosmic background microwave radiation.
Mhm.
They think that's the afterglow of the Big Bang, when that picture itself is actually a picture of the bubbles of these electromagnetic fields surrounding the galaxies,
Mhm.
like this.
Hmm.
If you look at this picture like it was a fishbowl, you can see the pink areas are bubbles. Each one of those areas is a bubble that carries a galaxy inside of it, and the area surrounding it is antimatter, which is used to fuel the galaxies through a recycling process. So there is no expansion of the universe. It's steady state. It's always, there's no beginning or end to it. It's always been the way it is. No dark energy, no dark matter, no black holes, just the galaxies recycle using what I call a mother rock, large object in the center of the galaxy that puts out plasma. The arms of the galaxy are actually spinning outwards, blowing out stars and planets all at the same time.
Mhm. Mhm. Excellent.
So what we
Uh,
think is the afterglow of the Big Bang is actually galaxies enclosed in bubbles. That's why I call it cosmic bubbles.
mhm. Excellent. My next question: what do astronomers call the point in space with such strong gravity that not even light can escape?
Well, that's what forms a black hole. They refer to it as singularity, the beginning of the first beginning of the universe, which I don't think it ever started. It's always been there. So I'm refuting the idea that black holes even exist, because we made a mistake 1,000 years ago when we saw an explosion in the sky. At the time, astronomers thought stars was the biggest thing out there, and they've been saying, "Oh, that's a star exploding, a nebula." 900 years later, back with about 100 years ago, 1923, when Hubble first proved that galaxies are separate entities from this one, the astronomers never put that back in the equation when they started describing nebula. So a nebula is actually the beginning of a new galaxy. We see the dwarf galaxies starting from Small Magellanic Cloud, traded on back through what we call the nebulas here, including Orion. In the middle of Orion is a new mother rock, creating another dwarf galaxy. What's really confusing everybody is that plasma uses layers, electromagnetic layers, electricity with magnetism, and ends up forming mirages in space, pictures that aren't even real, and reflections such as
Excellent. My next question, like, which element was formed first in the early universe, shortly after the Big Bang?
Well, they claim hydrogen was the first one born, but once again, I'm dealing with none of that's right. None of the Big Bang is correct. It is totally wrong from the get go. There is no expansion. There is no early universe. I follow Feynman's ideas that light does not travel. It propagates on an elastomeric medium. This is gaseous atmosphere that surrounds the galaxy. Light propagates on that. So the light from distant stars isn't traveling. We're actually seeing the light as it exists right now because it's just an imprint on the retina of your eye or on the camera on CCD. It's kind of like saying that that spot of light is an absence of darkness, the natural state of the universe being darkness. And when you can see that darkness turn into light, you're not actually seeing photons of light from that source traveling to you. You're simply seeing a picture of two-dimensional image of of the light and darkness. I don't know if that's explaining very well, but that way you won't find any early first elements, hydrogen, anything built up from the first bang, because everything around us, the galaxies, the stars, everything you see has always existed before time. The universe knows no time. There's no space time. There's no time. There's no chronological order of events, is all it is. But if you look at the universe right now, say, for example, we did not exist. If human beings weren't here, and if this planet did not exist at all, would this universe be any different? My statement is not one bit. There are trillions of planets in every galaxy, each moon, because of the way they're born on the mother rock. In my theory, every single object out there gets covered with ice and lava and it solidifies. There's life everywhere. On every moon that has ice, on every planet that has ice covered on it, there's life. It started on this planet. We started out as a giant big ball of lava covered in ice. It froze the crust and made a solid crust and melted the ice underneath. So it covered the whole planet with oceans underneath a layer, probably 50 to 100 miles thick of ice. And as we were captured by a star, that ice sublimated into an atmosphere. And the life that was already existing underneath the ice started to propagate on the land as the land and the sea was exposed to the sun. So in this way, you understand that life existed on this planet for 3.5 billion years and didn't evolve hardly at all. Whereas as soon as sunlight hit the water and the ice, all fauna, all types of life on this planet evolved over a very short period, like 10 million years. So we're not dealing with any elements that began from the beginning of the universe. You're dealing with everything that exists the way it is from before time could be measured. There's no beginning, no end to the universe the way it is. No expanding. The expansion is a mistake of reading the redshift. In fact, Hubble himself wrote that he didn't see the redshift as an expanding universe, but as a measurement of recessional velocity only as a distance indicator. That the redshift told him how far away the galaxies were. But in fact, the redshift is caused by the gas around the galaxy, which is why we see quasars, high redshift, coming out from galaxies with a low redshift, because the quasar is a new mother rock, baby rock, being born. I worked with Hal Narp on this back in 2000 to 2005. It filled in the gaps he had in his information about these galaxies being spawned as twins. The quasars he mapped were coming out as twins from the galaxies and following behind as a spiral went through its course. Because my idea of the mother rock having two plasma jets, one on either side, means they're going to birth a new mother rock. And it's on both sides at the same time as twins. If you know anything about Hal Narp's work, he studied under Hubble until they ran him out of the country because he wouldn't go along with the idea of the Big Bang. And all this got information came about back in the 1930s, 1920s, when journalism started taking over the peer review system. For the centuries, peer review system was dominated by actual scientists that decided what gets published. In the 1930s, journalism became powerful enough to decide that money was more important than truth. So if you wrote articles and did free reviews for them, you got your work published. But then nobody who had anything to say against that was ever published. As of right now, I've seen reputations about the Big Bang increase 1,000-fold in the past 3 or 4 years alone. At the same time, the retractions from major scientific magazines saying that there were mistakes in all their studies about the Big Bang. I mean, they're retracting 10,000 articles that they are now saying are wrong about the Big Bang. About dark matter and dark energy were two ideas that come up to try and explain the discrepancies in the Big Bang. Neither one works. They can search for them all they want. They're not going to happen. As of right now, when the James Webb Telescope came out, it amplified it, made it even worse. And you look at the pictures of James Webb, the deep pictures showing all the distorted galaxies and all this, and I can show you the same images created right here on layers that propagate. Water does the same thing to a picture, a reflection of light that we're seeing in these deep field images from James Webb. There's reflection in them where there's layers that cause a mirage effect. When you look at a mirage, say, when you're driving down the road on a hot desert day and you see the shiny surface in front of you, looks like water up and down. That's caused by electrical layers, negative electricity coming off the planet and layering as it goes upwards. I've shown this effect. We have it on distortions on the sun's limb when it's setting and rising. The fact that it's red sunset, red sunrise, because you're looking through a thicker layer of these gases. That effect, the red sunrise, is the same effect as the redshift from a galaxy, because it's propagating through an atmosphere. So basically,
Thank you.
I probably
Thank
have
you.
70 or 80 videos online that just pieces of this and that. I'm trying to put it all together in one form that it's almost impossible for me to write for everybody out there. So I have to aim at a demographic audience, 35, 50-year-old. I've spent 25 years putting this together, and only the past year and a half or so really getting into making this palatable to the public. I now have confirmation of my ideas about things like, here's Hubble Space Telescope first light. It was out of focus, but what they did not see in that was what Harvard is now studying. They call the optical rotatum of light, where it's a surface coming at you and going away from you. I mean, it explains exactly what I've been working on. It shows how this type of propagation causes the Fibonacci series, the golden ratio, phi, all of that in life. And you see in the shells, here's the light propagating. Here's how it looks like. There's where it goes to. The shells look like the knots in the wood, the conch shell in the wood, all of them. There's a big one right there. You see that?
Yes.
Okay. I put some videos online on my YouTube and Facebook under Fred Gangsted and Cosmic Bubbles and the Mother Rock. Probably 70 of them up there. You would have to go through pretty much every one of them because Facebook won't allow me to put them in a chronological order, so to speak. So it jumps around a lot. But all these ideas are laid out in there, and I have evidence. You know, I'm looking at thousands of citable scientific articles, pictures, evidence, obstacle, what you would term empirical evidence because it's observational that backs up everything I have. But it's not something you're going to learn overnight. One of my professors told me I have enough to make a full year's worth of college course. But that I'm rewriting the entire universe.
Excellent.
I have. This has all come down to the atom. Right now, I've been working on the atom. I had a picture of this double, where an atom is actually a sphere, two spheres, one nestled inside of the other, one northward, southward. Northward and southward magnetism means nothing in space. So magnetism is actually right, left-hand spin, the atom. This is controlled by a feedback mechanism within the area of space around us. They sent Voyager out 50 years ago thinking that they were going to find nothing. I literally predicted every single thing Voyager found. Description and all this. The biggest thing was this, what they call this wall of fire, that has just puzzled everybody. This area of space, a thin layer where temperatures reach 50,000 degrees Celsius. The only thing that can do that is accelerated electrons, which perfectly describes a layer of electricity sandwiched in between magnetic layers, right, left spin. That makes everything we have right-handed because the area of space around us is right-handed and the feedback starts from there. But right next to the area of space we're in is an area where it's left hand. And we will slowly drift into that area where left hand dominance comes over right hand. So this right hand rule in electricity and magnetism we have now would be reversed. What we're looking at is a magnetic reversal that's happening right now with the shift of the poles, the climate change, and all this is being caused by this magnetic reversal. But at the same time, we're going through a natural process, a warming process. If you can picture, we started out as a giant snowball Earth covered in ice, 100 miles thick. As this ice slowly melted over the millennia, it's exposed to water, then exposed to land. The planet itself was smaller when it came off the mother rock. It slowly expanded outwards since day one. That's what's formed all the continental shelves and the oceans and the evidences in the mid-Atlantic region, separation of the continents. What they saw was Pangea was actually a connection of all the. Think of a baseball. Look at the seams on a baseball. When it's smaller, they all connect. And if that baseball was expanding outwards, those seams would turn into the oceans. Okay, you have a new question up here?
My last question for you. What is your closing remarks for today's session? What
is my closing?
Yes. Yes.
Everything in the Big Bang is wrong. Starting from 1,000 years ago. I can prove all of it. But it's something, like I said, it's not something I can get across to you completely in 10 minutes or hour, whatever. You look up my work on Cosmic Bubbles, and it'll have all kinds of questions and answer all kinds of questions. But it's I have 22,000 followers on there, and a lot of them understand it. And I'm getting questions. I'm getting new people every day. I'm trying to break into the space industry over here in Houston. I have contacts with them. I'm trying to get through to somebody in NASA, Jared Isaacman or Vanessa Weiss or anyone else. All I need is a chance to put this in front of people and show them what it is. if I can get a website on here, I can prove Big Bang is wrong from the start. There was no beginning. There is no end. The universe is everlasting. It consists of an intracyclic universe where all the galaxies recycle, but the universal structure itself never changes.
Thank you. Thank you. This is excellent discussions. I request all of our audience, please share our content as much as possible with the government agency, with the academia, specifically with these research centers. Thank you, Dr. Fred, for joining today's session. So hopefully, from today's sessions, our audience can learn different things.
Thank you very much for having me, and it's been an honor and a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.